And after a discussion segment, traders and consumers are currently lamenting as prices of food commodities keep skyrocketing. President Bola Tinubu said he is concerned about the state of accessibility and affordability of food items across the nation, while the federal government has revealed some of the proactive measures it is considering to tackle food inflation in the country. One of such is the marching orders to relevant officials to work out immediate measures to check rising food prices in the country, as well as unlocking of grains in some storage facilities around the country. Our focus on the program this afternoon is on the commodity markets and expectant results from measures being taken by government for food sufficiency. Our guest is Glory Ehiremen, senior analyst at SBM Intelligence, who joins us from Lagos. Good day and thank you for joining us on Business Express.
Thank you.
Okay, let's delve into the conversation with Nigeria's inflation at almost 30% as released by the MBS just yesterday. What role did food and other commodities contribute to this continuous rise in inflation?
Okay. So food was a major contributor to this inflation, and to about 35.4%. Food inflation rose from 33.9% in December to 35.4% in January. And some of the food commodities that went up with bread and cereal, oil and fat, fish, meat, fruits, potatoes, and yam, and even fruit. One thing that I want to really point out on the rising cost of food in the country is, with one certain commodity that we use at SBM is with the cost of rice, for instance. So as of last quarter, when we collected our prices of food commodities in the market, the cost of rice stood at about 44,000 naira.
Okay.
But currently in the market, the cost of rice is at from 61,000 to 68,000 naira, depending on the brand of rice that you are trying to purchase. So this goes to show the impact of food in the rising inflation in Nigeria.
Can you give us a kind of comparative analysis of price in the last quarter or in last month as compared to current prices?
Oh, okay. So in the last quarter, not just in the last quarter. Okay, let me push it back to say last 2 quarters. We have seen the cost of food increase year on year. Like we've not had a break from food increases. So from 33.93 in December, the cost of food has increased. Like the food inflation rate has increased to 35.41. And at SBM, we use the Jollof Index to track the rising cost of food on a quarterly basis. We've also seen the rising cost of food items, particularly protein and particularly protein. From egg to meat to every kind of protein source that Nigerians use, and also grain, especially rice. When you talk about the staples that Nigerians consume, rice, bread, and all those kind of things, potatoes.
Okay. What do you think are the uncommon factors attributing to or leading to this particular problem that we're facing today?
The factors are enormous and they are very obvious. We have insecurity, we have poor transportation, and increased cost of transportation too. with the increased cost of fuel. We also have poor storage facilities. With the low harvest that we have, for instance, as a result of insecurity, we still have post-harvest losses, which is a very big problem. So as of last year, about 70,000 acres of land have not been planted, have not been cultivated as a result of insecurity. So, with all of these things that impede production in the country, if we add this to the problem with food imports in the country, where there are still conversations around FX availability for food imports, and the policies of the previous administration in terms of in terms of the border closure policy, and the restriction of FX for certain food importation and all of that. So it builds into what we are currently facing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the federal government says it will release, it will release 42,000 metric tons of grains to ease food crisis in the country. Do you see that impacting the market?
Not much.
Okay.
If you recall, in 2022, we had a similar release by President Buhari, and he released 40,000 tons. We did not see a lot of improvement in the market. There are also conversations around people who are hoarding. So there's a lot. Even if this is released into the market,
you don't see that making any impact. But now to bring in food importation, it's like we will have to consider food importation. Do you see that happening?
Food importation?
Yes.
At the long run,
yeah,
that would be like a temporary solution that would come to, when everything crumbles eventually. Because if we keep going at this stage, a lot of other things would happen. I don't know if you are abreast with what happened in Kano this week, where the agency for corruption or something, the Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Agency was trying to force people who have warehouses to open their grain reserves and sell and all of that. So if coming back to where we are coming from, with the way things are going, where government itself is already taking such drastic decisions, I think very soon we'll have to open up our borders and then and import food. Okay. Even if the government wants to increase food production in the future, in the midterm, we need that opening so that there could be reduced cost of food.
Now electricity is another commodity taking a chunk of the budget of households in the country. Key holders are already saying subsidy on the commodity should be removed. What do you think, and what do you foresee playing out in the economy?
So Nigerians have been, pushed to a very tight corner. When we talk about electricity, we know that it is very important in food storage, for instance. And what Nigerians have been using before now was to supplement with generators, in their homes and in their stores. So with the increased cost of fuel, and Nigerians are trying to manage the increased cost of fuel, manage the rise in inflation, the rise in food cost, like in the inflation generally, as a result of the subsidies that have been removed in other areas. I think that would be a wrong timing to do that. It would mean it would really be too much burden, on Nigerians at this time.
So what do you think should be the short and long run solution to this particular persistent or stubborn increase in food inflation?
Really stubborn. So in the short term, there should the government should allow people to bring in food products.
Don't tell me how.
But
Okay, okay. Go on, go on, go on,
yes, yes, yes,
go on.
yes. So, when there's demand, there's nothing that you can do to, stop people from meeting that demand. The only if the government insists on blocking demand in this short term, what would happen is that the cost of food will go up because people would still bring in this product, but at an exorbitant price. So it gives chance to an underground market. So, but in the long run, what
Okay,
can
I'm
happen?
afraid we have to put a hold to the conversation. It's been a pleasure talking to you. It seems like we have a live program which we will definitely join at this point in time.
Can you hear me? I can still hear you.
Okay, beautiful. You can go on then with the
Okay.
conversation.
Okay. So I said that while allowing imports, it can be like a mid-term solution. In the long run, the government should focus on mechanized agriculture. And this is not just government at the federal level, because over the years, what we've observed is that most of the people's expectation is always to the government at the center. You know, state government can start pursuing mechanized agriculture, providing infrastructures, irrigation infrastructures, and things like that. One of the problems that we have in terms of production is also adverse weather conditions. So irrigation facilities can help. Mechanized agriculture. The government should also start thinking in terms of how we can bring in private, like we can boost the interest of private sector in agricultural, in mechanized agriculture. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, Glory Ehiremen, Senior Analyst at SBM Intelligence. It's been a pleasure having you on the program, and we look forward to seeing you again so that we can really talk more about commodities. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.